They'll be calling you a radical. Kevin Blanch was right the entire time. I said the day that this happened, that 3-4 years ago, they'll be saying exactly what I say, and then, you know, I expect apologies, I expect payment. 3 years ago today, I stood right here, told you to sell your gold at 1900 and buy Tesla at 18. How come you're not a millionaire, Kevin? Because I got cancer. Something happened on the way to that place. They threw American nuclear flag-ism into my face. I got leukemia. Given 2 months to live. It's been an incredible fight, but I want to show you guys something. This camera quit me when I was down there. And this is what we have to do to the marine biologists, to the oceanographers, to the American populace. What I finally did, I worked on this camera, had to bring my old clicker out. I finally just threw it on the floor hard. Boom! Started working. Yeah. I made this, travel Fukushima, Japan. You were all ready, you were already there. I made that on day 3. Day 3. Post-ignorance, my graffiti. How much does it look like blood? Oh my God. And I wrote in my book that I wrote that in 10-10-10, that if we don't pivot off this ignorance complex, it's going to swallow us whole. It swallowed us whole. It swallowed us whole. Fukushima swallowed us whole. I saw it. It happened. So here's all the confirmations coming out right here that everything Kevin Blanch said from day one, the only person on the face of the earth that said it in real time, he was Cassandra, he was Cassandra, he was Cassandra the whole time. Tried to slap them upside their heads. Wouldn't work. Bring me that bat, Adley. Maybe that's what we'll have to use, is your baseball bat. Why? Because, oh yeah, they tore down the flank road rights. I see post-ignorance as a pure art movement in the concept of art itself, in the concept of art as culture, in the concept that people are culture, in the concept that inspiration and influence are great historical artists like Van Gogh, Amelie, like Pollock's reference to Kandinsky, like Monet's to the sunlight, morning, dawn, winter, fall, summer, spring. It is influenced by the in vogueness of the time. My look at culture and the art thereof today, economic theory, popular culture, art or morality, the lack thereof art, the mind of seeing when others for uncognitive reason cannot see. Everyone saw life from millenniums. Everyone saw a simple line from millenniums. Everyone saw eclectic color from millenniums. It is more than per se the artist. Monet saw the light. Millais saw the struggle. Van Gogh saw the line. Smith saw the simplicity of the line and shape against the landscape. Kandinsky saw the election of color and shape. Pollock saw the color of dynamics in motion. But much more than that, they saw it decades ahead of the truth. Their minds saw fact and truth. Their minds were strong enough to act upon what the others understood with all others did not understand. They understood, not yet. Others did not understand, not yet. They had strong backs and knew how to work. They were the purification of ambition, intelligence, education, smooth with work ethic. I visualize and have for 2 decades via my hawk and trowel, via my keyboard, via my paintbrush, via my cardboard $3 throwaway camera, via my flip video camera, via my soapbox, Utah, via my websites is this. Poetic injustice to the entire world. Wars without provocation. Pain without a crime. Love without an artistic spirit. Ignorance with a club. A big club. As a counter, what I have termed neo-ignorance is post-ignorance. I see post-ignorance like this. As a movement in pure intellection. In a broad intellectually. Not I know art history, not I know how to draw like a camera, not I know how to interpret, not I know how to incorporate, but I know culture, I know environments in a more exposed manner. I know economics, I know geopolitics, I know metaphors, good and bad. I know struggle, what it feels like to be stolen wealth, artistic and benevolent. I have painted in this moment of mine for 20 years. I have designed the mindset for 20 years. I've used color in this mindset for 45 years. I have written in this mindset for 20 years. I have classroom mindset for 34 years, 135 days. It is grounded into my brain and hawk and trout, an overused, broken, twisted, scarred back. It is impassioned by the 10,000 plaster jobs I've done. It is fueled by the pain of watching my father, Dwayne Blanch, a pure genius of life, being loaded into the body bag as he died in the mind of Picasso or Dali or Melville. He's named after him, by the way. His mind, as he died, even looks like on fire with sharpness, a grass fire, killed by American ignorance, atomic veteran drafted via spite and hate by a competitive, ugly people, by a scar of a severed tongue and byproduct of the mythical idealism that joy comes from the exploitation of brown people. Ground in by my crushed face, a scar across my face, my deformed nose and missing upper jaw, bone and fake teeth sponsored by brass knuckles and a Hail Mary sucker punch. Who needed to rob a 75-year-old widow, my pinup artist alone on the ancient lake floor? Influenced by Robert Smith, who patted me on the head and winked at me in 1970s, my father walked this by blue-eyed Mariner Eccles, who put his genius-carrying soul through all of man. Economic theory of all economics theories based in religion and used as a weapon. His one of compassion for others, not as the past 30 years summoned by greed and hate. He lived and worked right up the road from me, influenced by the architecture of Leslie Hodgson. Art Deco giant whose work I stared at and lived in and learned in and watched my grandfather trade cattle futures in and suitcases of cash. My suitcases now in around, there you go, all right. And watch my father and grandfather, sorry, influenced by the ignorance of popular opinion, tearing down John Affleck, wanting to tear down Ogden High, tearing down the which now later they tore down this. Popular opinion tearing down Ogden High, of tearing down Ogden Canyon, rock retaining walls when I agreed to, and replacing the jury, but when I agreed to do it myself for free. Influenced by a mother, could draw like a camera, pinups. Influenced by great teachers, living in the great cosmopolitan cities is slowly passing away in Art Deco decay. You know, I go on and on and on, but the bottom line is, I started saying this right here. Travel Fukushima, Japan, we are all residents. Day 3. Everything that I've said in incredible detail has come true. Has it been Cassandra-like right down to predicting my own cancer? It's going to give you leukemia, it's going to give you AML leukemia, it's going to give you the only thing I was wrong about, I hope, and I think maybe that I have escaped. Finally, I'm free. The last few days since I got back from California, the green flash, I think when Lori and I shot that green, I think that was the sign that maybe this is over. My cancer fight is over. Maybe I have escaped a miracle and a disease, AML de novo, that very few, if hardly any, ever escape. I did it without a bone marrow transplant. I did it through this YouTube camera. I did it through this fight. I wrote that on 10/10/10 before Fukushima happened. Led the Million Masked Man March. Gun pulled on me in Oxford at the Megan Rice trial, at the USS Reagan trial in support of all these guys. All this that I said in incredible accuracy. I want to show you something. In the name of the Father, yeah, in the name of the little boy named after my father, my grandchildren. They were born, he was born days after Fukushima, just days, so was my other little grandson. Travel Fukushima Chan, we're all residents, you're already there. Plutonium, cesium, iodine death. I made that on day 3. On day 3. Lori Still made that. Mark in Florida, who actually worked on Barrett Lake's house. My mutated sunflowers. Has this been Cassandra? Our soup case is up there with Palco, Thomas Ackerman. So many. Post-ignorance. Graffiti. Tried to do it in California, wouldn't let us. $60 an hour at the free graffiti park. What a disgrace. I think it's perfect that I stop right there because that's what I was up to. Post-ignorance, because what happened? That's happened. Before we could get to post-ignorance. It swallowed us whole. Is it going to kill everybody? Nope. It's going to kill a lot though. I use the word Pacific Genocide. I'm going to write my book, Pacific Genocide. I'm going to write all my books. It's time, but this has been a book. This has been literature. That's Art Cave. I love that painting she did. I've started an art movement. I've influenced a lot of people in a good way. I want to show people this. One byproduct that came out of this, painting this. Is the byproduct, the first paint I did with tomato soup. You know what they are. You know, as I flipped it behind my back. This camera wouldn't work. It wouldn't go. It quit us down there in California. I would have had video of the cops abusing us. I would have had. That's why I use this little great camera. I got home. I'm working on it. That's what I've had to do with everybody. You throw it to Grandpa. Woo! Good throw. He's an athlete, this boy, just like his grandpa. His great-grandpa, I mean. My dad. My dad was an incredible athlete. But the grass on it sticks to everything. I called all this has been beyond Cassandra-like, but I've embraced it through my subconscious. I've taken my path, the country and western version of Hamlet on Balco, or curse spite that I was ever born to sit this right. I look back on, I'm so very proud of all my work. And I mean, it's been intense, it's been hard, it's been attacks, death threats, all of it. Guns pulled on me. You know, what I've been able to do with this camera and my fight, the good fight, because I embraced the good fight. Gave up all my money? Yeah. Yeah, forked it over. Glad I did. They saved my life. Whew, good throw. You got a good arm, boy. He's named after him. He was nuked to death in the Valley test site. Human guinea pig like a lab rat. That's what they're doing to the boys on the USS Reagan and the girls. I'm not going to wait 10 years and say, oh, look at this study, they're killing their own. No, I told it as it happened. This is modern day literature. Right here. New genre, new form, new, oh yeah, I invented it. I created it. Post-ignorance. And all it is a reflection of the war criminals and the industrialized complex. Ignorance gone amok. Thus, post-ignorance. Ignorance is an epidemic. Ignorance killed us. Not going to kill us, killed us. Hopefully they can survive the genocide. Mutated for life, forever? Yes. Whilst ignorant. If you think the Germans invented genocide, you know nothing about the American West. Go Stanford, slaughter the Utes. Go Stanford, slaughter the Utes. Sickos in California. Not me. Days after Fukushima, I have another one, 1 week apart. My first 2 grandsons, the first boys in the family from him. He, thee, in the name of the Father, my Father. These boys are named after him. They'll go on. They'll go on. They'll fight this good fight just like I fought this fight. I've showed them little boys the path. They'll fight. Stand tuned.